Alright, here's part 2 of the video for building your own homemade pole barn freight elevator. You can do this over the course of a weekend, long weekend. And parts are going to run you about $1,500. That's including the hoist. If I had to do it over again, and someday I will, the hoist honestly is the weak link in the entire system. Because as the coil wraps around the drum, it likes to fray. So after, this thing's probably been used up and down 500 times now in the course of the last 12 years that we've had it in service. And the cable is definitely starting to fray. And it's just because of the way it wraps around the drum. So if I were to do this again, ultimately you would use like a Milwaukee electric chain hoist, rated at about 2 tons, 2 to 3 tons. But, those are $1,500 to $1,800 hoists. But one thing nice about a chain hoist, you're not going to get the wear and tear on the main cable, because this cable here is essentially the one that takes the beating, the one coming off the hoist. But in order to build a cheap one, like I say, these hoists are at Harbor Freight for about $180, and they will do a lot of lifting. So up here you can see the pulley system a little bit better. Keep in mind you're going to want to through bolt everything. Definitely don't rely on lag bolts. You're going to want to through bolt all these pulleys up through. You can see here the 4 individual points as they go down. So you've got the casters here, and what that's doing is that's keeping the platform from moving side to side. That's basically the guide. And then as these cables lift, they're lifting equally on all 4 corners, so you get a nice level lift and descend. I've got the switch here for going up and down, which originally when I built this, I kind of had the silly idea that I would ride it, so I put the switch on the platform to be able to ride up and down. And I haven't taken the time to relocate the switch, but the switch really should be up here on the upper deck, and that way it can only be powered by someone that's not standing on the platform. To get around that now, we just use a long dowel and push on the switch, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But essentially, let's fire this thing up. You can see it in action as well, best as I can while trying to run it. So we just took it down about 3 feet, and I don't know if you can see the pulley action and everything. Let me bring it back up and I'll show you this part here, which is the stop limiter, and how that works. What's going to happen is this platform is going to come up here, and it's going to hit this stop limiter, and it essentially shuts off the hoist so that it doesn't accidentally go too high and basically limit out your pulleys and cables and fall off the track. You can see that rod goes up and hits this mechanism here, which essentially shuts the hoist off in one direction only, and then as you go down, now let me get out our little handy dowel here. Like I say, we don't ride this anymore. And if you do build one, I don't recommend that you ride it. Obviously it's at your own risk, but it works great for freight. So there, we hit the base. This is about a 9-foot lift. I've got the upper loft, and this pole barn is about 9 foot off the ground, so this particular platform comes up 9 foot with an even floor, so you can jump off the loft here onto the platform and then ride it down with your, ride your freight down. And then there's a little ramp at the bottom, because that's up off the concrete about 6 inches. So basically you can use a hand truck or anything to load your equipment or whatever you're wanting to put up in the loft up onto your platform. And then I climb the stairs over here up into the loft, use my dowel, hit the switch, and bring the freight up. And once the platform's even, you can roll it off, or the platform comes up an extra 2 foot above, hits the limiter, and you can actually reach over waist height and grab things off the platform. Give you a little bit closer look here at how we put this together. Braced everything out real good. Use metal plates, you know, in the corners, everything. Lash everything down real good. Very simple, actually. Design, functional. Like I say, we've lifted thousands and thousands of pounds up and down safely in this loft with not an incident. But soon, when this hoist decides to quit, which I'm sure will be any day now, I'm going to invest in an electric chain hoist. It's going to be safer, more capacity, and it won't have the wear and tear that this inexpensive wire rope hoist has. So, alrighty, that's about it. If you have any other questions about this project or how to put one together, I'll leave my email below and you can email. I'd be happy to give you some tips on how to do it. It's a real handy thing, and everybody that sees one wants one. So that's all for now.